Hey guys, I'm back. I didn't go AWOL. I appreciate all the messages checking in to see where I was at. I took a little bit of time off. As all you guys know, the work-life balance is hard sometimes. Being a present boss, giving customers consistent quality while fumbling through and learning how to run a business and still being a good husband and father is really rough sometimes. And sometimes you have to back burner stuff that you really love to do, like this podcast. And with that being said, if you guys caught my quick little intro asking that I want to hear from you guys, I want to clarify something. I've been pretty selective about who I choose to have on here for reasons. I want to have people who are relatable and who have been there and in the trenches. I want to talk to people who have something to teach or something to learn. I started this podcast because I wanted to meet and learn from other people in the industry. I regularly get emails from you guys, and I'm honored that you even care about my opinion. I'm positive there are way more qualified people out there to help me answer these most asked questions. So instead of doing the same format as I always do, I kind of want to table a few questions and have a mini series with short episodes for the next couple months to answer some of those questions that everybody has been asking. So yes, I do want to hear from you guys. I'm going to put a list of questions out on our Instagram page, such as what did you learn the hard way? What was your biggest pain point? What do you wish you knew before you started? And things like that. If you've got answers to some of these questions, I want to hear from you. We can make these short, we can make these 15 minutes, we can make these 30 minutes, we can make these an hour if you want. It's up to you guys and what you feel you can add value to. So, by the time you hear this, I want to have these questions posted. If you want to hop on a call with me, give me an email, kevin@jmwfabrication.com. We'll set up a time and we'll see what we can do. I want to start putting these out as they come. So we're going to get back into things pretty quick. So if you've got something, reach out to me, kevin@jmwfabrication.com. And until next time, get out there, get it done, and get it invoiced. Hey guys, welcome to the Welding Business Owners Podcast, where podcasts are late, but our bids are on time. I'm your host, Kevin, JMW Fabrication. Today, I want to do a special episode about the Fabricator Olympics. I know you guys have heard all the ads and are probably sick of them by now, but I really want to give you a behind-the-scenes look of what it's like to put on something like this. It's actually more of a business than you would really think. There's a ton that relates to running a business and putting on this event at the same time. I want to share a little bit of that with you guys, along with what it's going to be like. I know a lot of you have been asking me about what the competition is going to be like. I'm going to let you in on the spectator games that we've got going on, the details on them, and a lot of other things. So let's get started. So to begin, this is only the second year we're doing this. I came up with this idea last year. We executed it okay. It went pretty good. We did it at our shop. Lincoln Electric really stepped up to give us everything that we needed for it to happen. And we had nothing but great feedback from it. Everybody loved it. We learned a lot about how to run an event like this. A little bit of the backstory. My wife and I, we don't have an event company, but we're always involved with something, with volunteering, with church, or things like that. So we have put on events like this. This one is a little bit different because we're looking at it through the lens of like a business perspective of this. Last year, we put out a lot of money. Like, this event cost us money. We didn't even break even on it. But I think this is something that we are really passionate about, and a lot of other people really show a lot of interest in this too. So I think we're going to actually grow this into something more than just a once-a-year thing. I think what we want to do is take this on the road. Ideally, looking out a couple years, we would be able to do this around the country and then take the winners from each of them and fly them together somewhere to do a final, like, head-to-head from all across the country. That's just the vision I've got in my head. If that's ever going to happen, I don't really know. But in order for that to happen, we had to approach this like it was a business. I've shared earlier in the year, we've kind of backpedaled here at JMW in order to get our systems right and to get things nailed down and to build SOPs for everybody, and to really just run our business like a business rather than just Kevin and his helpers. So taking that mindset and applying it to an event like this, we had a really good framework on how to go about this year. We learned a lot last year. It's crazy. When we throw parties, we're always coming down to the last couple days, and it's just crazy. And we don't want to do that this year. And we're actually on a really great track to not do that. We've done things like standard operating procedures for the volunteers. We've done aerial drone shots of where we're going to have it so that we can lay everything out ahead of time, give everybody a map, and say, hey, this is how we're going to set up. Go execute it. Here are the extension cords that you need for this. Here's the extension cords and the lengths of the extension cords for this. All the extension cords are taped with the color that represents JMW's stuff, and other places who are bringing extension cords, they have different color on their extension cords. So that way, when we wrap up, everybody knows where things go. So it's things like that where we learned from last year, we've learned before, and we're setting ourselves up to do this on the road and make it a lot easier for everybody to have their job and know what their roles and responsibilities of what they need to do. Some of the things we learned from last year was making sure to put time limits on things. The event went till probably 7 or maybe 8 o'clock, just because one of the things that we anticipated on having, I didn't put a time limit on, and I didn't know. I guess I can share it now. It was the cutting wheel contest. So we had a 3/4 inch solid bar, and you had a grinder with a brand new cutoff wheel, and you had to make as many slices as you could out of that 3/4 inch bar that you could get with that one wheel. I never knew you could make a cutoff wheel last for 53 minutes and get 46 slivers of 3/4 inch bar out of it. So that kind of threw us for a loop, because there was a couple people who camped out on those cutoff wheels for a half hour. They got, it was all varying degrees of how well they did, but we learned to put a time limit on this year. So because there was just a lot of jockeying around and things like that. So this year we have time limits on everything. We have a bigger space this year, actually. One of the big improvements we did was we're actually holding this at the Bethlehem Area Votech School. So last year we did it at our shop. We are friendly with the principal over at Bethlehem Votech, and he's a former welder. Mike Galler is an awesome guy. He approached us and he's like, anything I can do to make this better for you, let me know. He's like, I see the vision of this. This could be as big as Project MFG and Skills USA. He's like, whatever I can do to facilitate this for you, let me know. So I approached him. I said, hey, can we have it here next year? A big bottleneck for us last year was my wife, Melissa. She cooked all the food, and she is an amazing cook, but holy crap, is that a lot to cook for? And the Bethlehem Votech School, they've got their own food truck. So logistically, the food's taken care of. With the ticket, you get a meal card, a meal voucher. So I think it's going to be a buffet style, and the food is all taken care of. At the school, AWS stepped up. This is going to be a chapter event, so we can have it at the school. And Mike's just letting us have everything we want. He's like, whatever you need. He's like, I'll facilitate anything I can for you guys. And it has been a gigantic help for us. So shout out to Mike over at Bethlehem Votech School. If it wasn't for him, I don't know what we'd be doing this year. So we've got a much bigger space. Well, we had to fill that space. And it's an outdoor event. Last year, it rained. And it kind of put a damper on people coming out. It really did. We built basically, we had it in the shop, and we built Tent City outside. And we had, I don't even know how many freaking easy ups we had out there. But they were all just, clipped together so that the rain didn't get in. And we just made it work. So this year, we do have tent rentals coming if we need them. but God forbid, we're gonna pray that it's not gonna rain. Power wise, so we're not actually holding this in the welding shop, where this is going to be a completely outside event. We're renting generators for all the power that we need. Yes, it does incur an expense, but you know what? I think it's really the best thing we got to do, rather than running extension cords everywhere. So we've got the food truck, we've got the pro service kids from the tech school stepping up to do parking and things like that, which was where our shop is. If any of you guys listen, we were there last year. We have a big field. Everybody just parked in the field. It was what it was. And this year we've got great parking. We actually added a welding rig truck show to this. So we've got so much parking. It's unbelievable. So we added a truck show. I think that's going to be really awesome, because who doesn't like coming out and checking out each other's rigs? I don't mind seeing antique cars at car shows and stuff like that, but give me something I can really relate to. I want to see people's rigs. I want to see their setups that they have. I want to see their organization. So you know what? What better place to get as many welding rigs as we can than at the Fabricator Olympics? So that's what we're doing this year. We've got spots for as many trucks as we want, to be honest with you. We have Lincoln stepped up, and they're giving away, I'll go over the vendors in a little bit, but the winner of the truck show is actually going to get a Lincoln Fab Pack with a Viking, 3350 welding helmet, jacket, like the whole shebang. So if you've got a welding rig and you're around Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a little bit north, bring it out. We've got great prizes, and we've got a great meetup for everybody to come out to. Another thing that we've got going on this year is we've upped the spectator games. So last year we had some games for people to do and things like that, but it was mostly for the competition. This year, we're looking to bring out as many people as we can, and to do that is you have to keep them entertained. You can only watch people grinding and welding and cutting on things for so long. So we've got 9 different spectator games that all have prizes that you can win. Now, unfortunately, I can't give away the competition challenges, but I can give away the spectator games. So, first up, we've got one of last year's favorite, the 3-man TIG welding competition. So, kind of self-explanatory. When you're TIG welding, you got to use your foot, you got to use your hand for the torch, and you got to use your other hand for the wire. Well, this one involves 3 different people getting in there and trying to make the best weld you can. So the weld's going to be judged by Jason Becker from the Arc Junkies podcast, because he's an official CWI. So they're going to grab 3 people, get in there, and get the best weld that they can. Another thing we're going to be doing is the cut wheel challenge. So I told you guys about the cut wheel challenge that we did last year as part of the competition. Well, we've moved that to the spectator games now. So spectators can participate in seeing how long they can make a cut wheel last. Yes, we did put a time limit on this too. So it's as many slices in 10 minutes that you can get from a brand new cutoff wheel. Walter and Lincoln have stepped up and given us hundreds of cutoff wheels. So you guys will be able to go out there and see what you guys can do with that. Another thing that I think is going to be awesome, we have a cylinder rolling competition. So we can all relate to rolling cylinders. Kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. Smaller ones you can just pick up, no big deal. Well, we've got an obstacle course that you have to take a cylinder and roll it through the obstacle course, and fastest time wins. But we've got 4 different ways to do it. First, we've got a full-size aluminum cylinder. Pretty easy. You can blow right through it. But we've got things like welding cable strung across where you have to go up and over. Small pieces of angle that you're going to have to navigate over with the cylinder, and, twists and turns and things like that. Then we've got the double cylinder rolling contest. So we've got 2 aluminum ones where you can go out there and see how fast you can go with 2 aluminum cylinders. And if you think aluminum's too easy, we've got a 6,000 PSI steel cylinder too. The 6,000 PSI cylinders are about 50 to 70% heavier than a normal cylinder. So if you think you've got what it takes to go out and get that, you'll be able to compete in that one too. Each one of these does have prizes to go with it, by the way. And then, the thing that I am pretty excited about seeing, we have a 4th cylinder rolling contest with drunk goggles. So, you're going to have to take the single aluminum cylinder, you're going to put on the drunk goggles, and you're going to have to go do the obstacle course with the drunk goggles. So, I'm excited to see that. That's going to be freaking hilarious to see these people try to do this. And I'm excited to do it myself, to be honest with you. So that's what we've got for the cylinder rolling contest. We've got an extended stick welding contest. So I think we've all been in the situation where you have to reach out with your 70-18 and up, somewhere where you really can't quite reach and run your vertical up. Well, you know what? We made an apparatus that's about 4 foot long, and it holds a 3/32 70-18 at the end of it. It's got a little set screw that, you use a 10 millimeter wrench and you tighten it down. So you've got essentially a 4.5 foot stick out from your stinger that you have to stand back from your piece, and you can't hold the extension piece further up than like 6 inches. So you can hold the stinger and you can hold the extension piece about 6 inches from the stinger, but that's it. So you have to try to keep that stable and strike an arc and do a vertical up weld about 4 feet up, sticking out from your stinger. So last year we had some pretty impressive welds with that. So I'm excited to see how that goes this year. Another game we've got. We all know if you've even touched a MIG welder, you've got it'll be the last couple inches that you've got to weld on the last project on a Friday, and you run out of wire. We've all been there. Well, you know what? We're going to have a feed the wire competition. So you're going to start with full welding gear on. You're going to have a brand new spool wire sitting there. You're going to have to, the judge is going to say, go. You got to take off all your equipment, undo the spool wire, feed it through the welder, put the contact tip back on, put the gas lens back on, put your stuff, your PPE back on, close the welder up, and strike an arc. Fastest time to do that wins. So I think that's going to be a pretty neat one to see whether people actually use the machine or they try to feed the wire through themselves, like just manually shove it through. So we'll see how that one goes, but I'm excited for that one too. We've got a stack the nut competition. So we've got a box full of 3/4 inch nuts. It's easy. Stack it as high as you can get. You have to have somebody who's watching you so that you've got proof. So we've got judges there for all. They're actually safety coordinators. So the way it's going to work is you sign up, and then a safety coordinator takes you to whatever game you want to do. You do it, and then you can come back around and sign back up. So there's going to be judges and safety coordinators for all this stuff, so you don't have to worry about it. We've also got thread the nut. Thread the nut. We've all taken a piece of all thread, and we had to somehow get the nut to the middle of it. Well, we've got pieces of all thread that you're going to have 3 chances to put the nut on and run that nut down the all thread as fast as you can. Obviously, fastest time wins. So that's one of them. We've got square tube Jenga. So obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. Pennsylvania Steel actually stepped up and they donated all the material for us. So we've got Jenga with steel square tubes and aluminum square tubes to see which one works better for you guys. And last but definitely not least, upside down welding. So insurance will not let us hang people upside down. I tried my best to get people to hang upside down from a crane, but it's just not going to work out. So the second best thing, we got upside down prisms that actually they're upside down goggles that you can buy on Amazon or whatever. And we took them out, and I've 3D printed holders that bolt onto the outside of a welding helmet. So you put it on, and everything you see outside the welding helmet is upside down. And to make it to, that's fine and dandy, but we've got a piece of 3-inch channel that you need to weld to a 4-inch square plate using these upside down goggles. And if you think that sounds easy, you have not used upside down goggles. I'm telling you, I can't even do this. This is so freaking counterintuitive and tricky that it is going to... I can't wait to see the terrible welds that come out of this game. But it's going to be awesome. So we've got a couple of those set up so everybody can come try their hand at that. All these games, whoever wins them, we've got some really great prizes to give out. The only game that's not going to win a prize is Jenga, because you're just playing against the other person and you get bragging rights from there. And speaking of prizes, we've got some awesome top tier sponsors this year. We made it a point that if we're going to keep doing the Fabricator Olympics, we only want to work with the best companies out there. Now, not to demean any other companies, but you guys know who the best companies are out there. So we made a commitment that we're only going to deal with them. So we've got places like Lincoln Electric, Walter, Hypertherm, CK Worldwide, Harris, JPW, Harrington Hoist, Callis, Alliance Distributors, Pennsylvania Steel, Diamond Ground Products, Jocko Fuel, and Origin Clothing. All these guys are top tier in what they do, and we're super appreciative to have them on as sponsors this year. Now, there's one sponsor that really steps up more than anybody else. So the company's Wilson Products. They are a local independent welding distributor here. And the guy, Aaron, over there, he's a rock star. He really is. To be honest with you, half of the people who are coming to this event or have stepped up to sponsor it would not be part of this if it wasn't for him. He loves the trades. He loves what he does. He is a awesome guy. And Wilson Products has just blown out of the water. They said, anything you need, we've got. They're covering all the gases. They've got money sponsorships. They're just bringing it all. They're like, whatever we can do to help. Aaron's just, I got you. So if it wasn't for them, this really wouldn't be anywhere near as big as it is this year. So if you guys are out there, say hi to Aaron. Thank him, because seriously, like, he's been like a right-hand man to me in this whole thing. And it is, I couldn't do it without him. So what is the event going to look like? Well, we're telling all the competitors to be there around 8:30 to check in, because gates are going to open up at 9, and that's when everybody's going to start filtering in and coming to the main stage. We're going to have an opening ceremony. We're going to go over everything that's going on from about 9 to 9:30, and then 9:30, the competition is going to begin. Each one of the 6 challenges is going to last about 45 minutes. So that's going to take us to about 11:45, 12 o'clock. We're going to break for lunch. The competitors are going to have the priority in the line to go get lunch, because they're only going to get about 45 minutes to eat, go play some other games and talk to some vendors before they get right back into it at about like 12:30-ish. And about 12:30 to 2:45, 3 o'clock, we're going to run the entire competition. So from about 3 o'clock to 3:30, we're going to have the scoring is going to be added up. Last year, we had a lot of math to do, but this year we've got Excel spreadsheets to make sure that there's no fatigue on the judges. We don't have to worry about any missed scores or misadding. Everything's going to be converted from fractions to decimals. That way we can just input it into the computer and it spits out exactly what we need. So we're going to need about 30 to 45 minutes to do that for all the competitions. And then we're going to announce the top 5. So from those top 5, they're going to go into the final competition for the running prize of the Lincoln 180i welder and the Hypertherm plasma cutter. So from there, that competition should only last about 30 minutes. We switched it up from last year. If you weren't there last year, well, you don't know what it is, and I'm not telling you. So, but it is going to have a curveball in it this year for sure. Some of the things that I really struggle with or learned this year, geez, where do I begin? You know, I'm a fabricator and a welder and a business owner. I don't do websites, and I don't do online ticket sales, and I don't do Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. So all that was just a complete learning curve for me. You know, the ticket sales thing, we hooked up with Ticket Spice. They offer a great platform to buy the tickets on. It's super easy to go on there. Credit card sales, put it in, boom, all good to go. The website last year, about 4 months ago, I redid the website. But we used a template from the 2023. I just changed a bunch of things on it. But you know, if you were on there from about this weekend previous, there was some stuff on there that wasn't accurate. And I had to, change it, like some dates on things like that. And I'm like, why does it still say October 9th like it was last year? Like it's September 28th this year. But just an oversight on my part, just trying to get everything ironed out to be a little bit more streamlined. The banners and things like that. It was hard to get the banners made too early because people didn't commit to sponsors, and we didn't know what sponsor level they were going to be at. So things like that, the generator rentals, and we're trying to get that sponsor because, this event takes a lot of money. It really does. The ticket sales are okay, but this year we are looking to break even. But it does take a lot of money and a lot of work. I've been working on this thing about 30 hours a week for the last 2 months. It really has taken up so much of my time. I have an amazing wife who's really, she lets me chase my dreams, and man, without Melissa, I really couldn't do this. On top of, everybody who steps up to volunteer the day of, all the judges who are coming out, and you guys, we've got guys coming in from all over the country on this one. And it just blows me away that people are they're flying from California, Texas, North Dakota, North Carolina, Maine, Ohio, what else? Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, obviously Pennsylvania, New York, Rhode Island, and I feel like I'm missing one. Anyway, you guys flying in. One of you guys from California, you're just coming to spectate. Like, dude, that is freaking awesome. Thank you for believing in this. That is it still blows my mind that this little idea that I had like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and we've got people flying across the country to come and pay money to essentially work and compete in the fabrication and welding industry in a competition. Like, it's the coolest thing. Like, it really just blows my mind to think about that. So thank you guys. Like, seriously, thank you for coming out. And even the guys who aren't coming from as far, like, I appreciate you guys supporting us and believing in this and really just making this what it is. Like, dreaming out from this, I'm excited to hopefully one day take this on the road. This is going to be, and everybody who isn't coming, I've had a lot of you guys reach out to me and say, hey, if you do it in my part of the country, I will be there. And so I see the need. I'm working on it. It does take a lot of time, and it does take a lot of money. I don't hound people for money for anything. If they fall in line and their brand is good and I believe in what they do, I do reach out to them to see if they want to be a part of this. But other than that, I'm not one to go out and just knock on everybody's door asking for money. That's just not who I am, and it's not what I plan on doing. But there is something that you guys can do if you want to help this out. I know that there are people out there and there are companies out there who this would align with. There's other brands out there who I'm not even thinking about that some of you guys have connections with, that your family works there or your friends work there, or they do a lot of philanthropic giving or whatever, because, honestly, this does take a lot of money. So my question is, who do you know that you think I should know? I know there's a lot of good brands out there, and there's other people who would be able to hop on board with this and write checks so that we could buy a trailer and just take this across the country. So I'm not asking for money. I'm asking for your contacts. If you've got somebody or a company or a contact somewhere that you think would be a good fit for the Fabricator Olympics, please reach out to me. I'm excited to where this could go, but it does take a group of people to make this happen. So if you can do your part, reach out to me. That would be super helpful, and thank you. Now, a couple of you guys have reached out and asked if there's anywhere online that you can watch the Fabricator Olympics. And to be honest with you, that was the furthest thing from on my mind. It's kind of one of those things, be here, be square. But I think there might be value to it. I can't promise that I'm going to. We have a lot going on this week. I'm recording this Sunday night, September 22nd. And next Saturday, like this coming Saturday, is the event. So if I can figure out how to work something on YouTube to be able to record this and walk around and show you guys what's going on, I will absolutely do that for you. But if I can't, I'm not going to make any promises. But if there's somebody coming who knows how to do this, by all means, hit me up, let me know. We'll work something out that we'll be able to put it on the Welding Business Owners Podcast YouTube channel, and you can go watch it over there. So I think that's about all I've got for you guys this week. Next week, we actually are going to have a sit down with everybody who flies in. They're all staying at this. Well, I think they're all staying at the same hotel that we're staying at. So what we plan on doing is having a meetup in the morning on Sunday morning and sitting down talking about what happened the day before. We're going to pass the mic around. We're going to have however many people want to join. I want to hear their inputs. I want to hear good. I want to hear bad. And we're just going to record it for you guys. So if it's not up first thing Monday next week, forgive me because, we got a lot going on here. But I'm going to do my best to upload it Monday. If not, well, it's a good thing that our tagline is that our podcasts are late because our bids are on time, because it might not be on time next week. So bear with me, guys. But before we go, I really want to give a special shout out to all of the sponsors that we've got this year. CK has stepped up. They're giving away torch holders, gas saver kit, things like that. Callus Manufacturing, they make awesome welding lathes and other cables. They gave out 2 gift cards to us that we're going to be raffling off. We got Walter, who stepped up. They're giving us all the grind wheels, the cut wheels, the tape measures, the wire brushes, things like that. They've also stepped up to give away all the drill indexes for the drilling competition this year. So thank you to them. Lincoln Electric Retail has stepped up to give us all of the welding screens on top of everything from last year from the welders and things. But they've given us, 8-10 more different fab tables to have more booths and things like that. And all the helmets, I think they gave us 20 helmets this year. And we're not allowed to keep them. We have to give them away. So we're giving them away to you guys. So all the guys everybody comes out, they're going to be used as prizes for that. Lincoln Electric commercial side has also stepped up. They're giving away 2 fab packs. I mentioned that earlier. That's a Lincoln Viking 3350 welding helmet with a jacket and a bag and a bunch of other hand tools that go with that. Alliance has stepped up. They're giving us a Williams socket set, and I think they've given us 30 different spud wrenches, and I think they were 10-inch. We've got 12-inch spud wrenches coming, so they stepped up huge. Harris Products, they stepped up. They gave us 2 full cutting torch setup kits, so we're going to be giving one away as a prize, and then we're raffling off another one of those. Pennsylvania Steel has hooked us up. They gave us all the material, like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of material. They stepped up and gave us. So big, huge thank you to them. Like that, not to have to flip that bill is awesome. Harrington Hoist, they stepped up. They're giving us a chain fall. that we're going to raffle off. JPW, they own like Wilton and Jet Tools and things like Bailey Industrial. They gave us a set of F-clamps that we're going to be giving away as a prize. On top of all these sponsors also gave us money too. So they also gave us, it doesn't matter how much, but they've also stepped up in a huge way for that. Diamond Ground Products has stepped up. They're giving us all the pre-ground tungstens for the 3-person TIG welding competition. What else? We've got Jocko Fuel. They've sent us a pallet of Jocko Fuel energy drinks. If you don't know who Jocko Willink is, go look him up. Also, to tie in with that, we've got Origin Clothing. That's also one of his companies. Origin Clothing is awesome because it's all American made. Not only, it's not American made with foreign parts, they hand make the thread here in the United States. They sew it here. They use USA sourced everything for their outdoor products, their hoodies, their shirts, their pants, their boots, their everything. Everything that they have and they do is American made. So we are super proud to have them on as a sponsor. On top of Wilson Products has just, like I said before, Aaron has blown it out of the water. They're giving us the gas. They brought half these people on board to be sponsors. They're giving us everything that we need. They're bringing out all their trucks. Their Viper's going to be out there. Their GT40 is going to be out there. Seriously, huge, giant thank you to Wilson Products because honestly, we couldn't do it without you. So that's all I've got for this week, guys. I really hope you guys can make it out there. I know a lot of you guys are busy with work and things like that, but I appreciate the support, and we'll see you out there next Saturday, September 28th in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.